Good morning and welcome to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. I'm so excited you are with us this morning. Today's going to be such an absolutely amazing show. We're here to empower you, your family, your friends, and your children to be healthy and well naturally. And what I absolutely love about this is that everybody has the opportunity to be well. At the end of the day, we just don't remember it. You know, the pharmaceutical companies spend an estimated $35.5 million a day in advertising to teach us that if you feel good, you're well, and if you feel bad, you're sick. But the reality is that's not how the body functions or works at all. The other thing that's so interesting is that when you ask people what controls the function of your body, they will tell you their heart. Because I got to tell you, at the end of the day, that's what we learn in school. But the reality is you have to start asking the questions. What controls the function of your heart? You know, what controls the function of your body to digest food, of your blood circular level to actually work? What controls the ability for me to talk to you right now and to hear? And that is your central nervous system. Your central nervous system is so vital and important to your health. It controls every single organ, tissue, and cell in the body. It literally sends the signals out to every single organ, tissue, and cell, up to the brain, to the body, and back again, so that you can have vitality and full life expression of health. The one thing that I think is absolutely amazing that many people take for granted is you can accidentally do a paper cut, right, on your finger. And at the end of the day, you don't have to think about it. Keep your hands clean. It's going to heal on its own. It's not the Band-Aid. It's not the ointment doing the body heals from the inside out. The most amazing portion of what we do in our practice and all over the world for other people that are chiropractors is they allow the body to function at a higher level of health and vitality through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. And many people will say to me, Michelle, what is an adjustment? I've never heard of one before. An adjustment is such an amazing gift. Literally, through that adjustment, the body is allowed to heal. It's allowed to turn the central nervous system back on, so it sends all the signals out to the organs, tissues, and cells, and back to your brain again. It allows for vitality, for health, and full expression of life. And at the end of the day, the one thing that I absolutely love is that people not only become well, get better, but every function of their body is at a higher level. And today we're going to not only be talking about health and wellness and how you and your family can be your best, but we're going to be interviewing this lady that I've known for quite a bit of time now. She's absolutely wonderful. Her name is Ashley, and I got to tell you, she's one of those people that when she enters your life, she's sort of a ray of sunshine. But in the same token, she has so much vital information that can help you not only with your... One of the things that I've been hearing, and if you know me enough, you know I'm on Facebook. I love Facebook. I think it's kind of fun. But one of the things I keep hearing over and over again are that there are many accidents going on right now in Harford County. My dad is a volunteer fireman, as I've told you many times. His name's Jim Lyons, and he's volunteered for the last 56 years. You know, so I grew up in a household of not only understanding what an emergency was, but what an emergency wasn't. And I think oftentimes people confuse everyday healthy things that are going on in their life as an emergency. Which you have to begin to think about this. If you turn everything into an emergency in your life, where do you think your health is going to be? It's going to be in crisis mode all of the time, looking for an answer that may not even exist. Ashley is one of those ladies that not only is a paramedic, and she's going to start to tell you not only where she runs, but she also, her and her family, are the owners of Keene Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Jarrettsville, Maryland. And she's going to start to talk to us about not only how you can pick the best vehicles so that you can be safe for your family and for yourself and for your loved ones around you, but also how we can in turn keep our whole environment when it comes to vehicles and maintenance and safety up and correct so that we can protect not only our lives but our loved ones around us. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. I can't wait for you all to meet Ashley, and we're going to talk real soon.
Christman Chiropractic, a creating wellness center located at 2310 Churchville Road, Suite C in Bel Air, is enhancing lives through the power of a chiropractic adjustment. As a licensed chiropractor in Maryland and Pennsylvania, Dr. Evan Christman can correct damage from years of lifestyle stresses while educating you to maintain good health for your lifetime. A dedicated professional with a very special focus on children with learning differences and autism, Dr. Christman treats people of all ages: newborn babies, children, pregnant women, families, seniors, and professional golfers. Isn't it time for you to reclaim your first step toward health and vitality today? Call Christman Family Chiropractic, a creating wellness center, at 410-734-4060 and let their experienced staff show you how to restore the flow of life. 410-734-4060 or check them out at restorelifeflow.com.
Welcome back to Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman. I'm so excited you guys are with us this morning. And we have Ashley. And Ashley, welcome to Wake Up to Wellness.
Thanks, Michelle, for having me here today. I'm pretty excited.
You are welcome. So Ashley, tell us, where are you from? Who's your family?
Well, I originally grew up in Baldwin in Baltimore County, and my family were the Adamses, and we owned King Dodge Chrysler, Jeep Ram in Jarrettsville, Maryland.
That is wonderful. Now, I was fortunate enough, you allowed me to come into your dealership, and I actually was able to test drive a car, which I thought was absolutely gorgeous. And I got to tell you, they not only treat you like gold, but the education that they give you is unbelievable. So tell me, what is that family history? With what my husband and I do, we're very passionate about it. What brought you guys to doing what you do today?
Well, Michelle, my great-grandfather, Perry Keene, he started in the car business many years ago, and his daughter, Elizabeth Keene Adams, and her husband, Howard, started the dealership that we have in Jarrettsville. And now my dad, Dave, and his brothers, Brian and Butch, own the dealership.
Oh, that's great. So what was that? Is there something that really drew your grandfather into wanting to do this?
Well, I think it's a great business. You get to meet lots of people, and you get to work with your family. So, it's all around. It's wonderful. We meet lots of new people every day.
Wow.
We have customers that have been coming back for years, and it's great. We love seeing our customers. We love our old customers, our new customers, and all around, we live in a great area, and there's lots of great people out there to meet.
Isn't that wonderful? So now when we start to talk about safety, we start to talk about, all the different accidents that have been going on. And, when I talk to my dad says, well, Michelle, the reality is it's just that you're hearing about them more. It's on Facebook, it's on the Patch, it's on the Dagger, that more and more people are hearing of it. But as well as I know, I'm not a volunteer fireman, but my father is, there are calls all the time. And so my question is there a perception that there are more accidents because there's more information out there, or do you think there are more accidents that are going on?
I haven't been in the fire department as long as your dad, but I have known your dad over 10 years now. We don't belong to the same department, but we do belong to neighboring departments. And I think I agree with him. I think with all the availability of the internet, social media, that people just hear about things more than they used to. But it also gives us an opportunity to provide more education to hopefully prevent more accidents in the future.
Isn't that the truth? And now, what company do you run with?
Well, I'm a member at Kingsville in Baltimore County and Fallston in Hartford County. Fortunately, I don't get a chance to ride the ambulance as much as I used to. But, there's lots of people out there every day, both volunteer and in the career departments, who are out there. And I think that they all would agree that, prevention and education, that's the key to keeping these accident rates down. The more people know about what they can do to prevent things, the better off that we all are.
Isn't that the truth? So talk to us about what can we do to not only prevent these accidents, but also what are some really safe vehicles that we can really purchase, decide to actually commit to, and take great care of?
Well, I think starting off, it's been in the news a lot lately, is texting. You're distracted. Anytime you're distracted from driving, texting, eating, putting on makeup, the crazy things that we do while we're behind the wheel of a vehicle that weighs thousands of pounds, just pay attention. Look, listen, see what's going on around you. When it comes to vehicles themselves, there's lots of things that you can do. Of course, not everyone can afford to go out and buy the vehicle with the latest and greatest technology, but simple things just like putting on your seatbelt is going to make a huge difference. And if you're out there with a child in your car, it's really important to look for a vehicle that has the new latch safety system. And I say new, it's been out for quite a while, but that's just one extra asset that can help protect you and your family in a vehicle accident. There's also other new technologies out there, different traction control systems, different types of side airbags, knee bolster airbags. It's just a matter of, what type of driving you do. If you do a lot of highway driving, you're going to want a car that has good acceleration. That way you can get out of a situation on a highway.
Interesting. So you're basically saying that, when you're on a highway, you want to be able to not only focus and pay attention, but to get out of the way quickly.
Yeah, when you're paying attention, you might see someone coming at you, and if you have the ability to get out of that person's way, you're going to prevent an accident even if they're not able to.
And so then what if you're, the mom that drives the country roads, taking her kids to school and doing all the different errands, what should we be looking for then?
Well, there's a lot of changes that have gone about in the last few years. I think we can all agree that there's new safety technology every year. And when you have children, it's important to remember that there's new technology out there when it comes to car seats and booster seats. It used to be after a child was a baby, they went into. Now kids need to stay in safety seats longer. In fact, in Maryland, the rear-facing car seats until 2 years old is very important. Statistics have shown car seats save lives. I've seen it, and I think most people have seen that kids in car seats stay very protected. Moms just need to pay attention, talk to their pediatricians about how long kids need to stay in safety seats, be it a car seat or a booster seat, to keep their child well protected. And also make sure as their children get out of those seats that they understand the importance of seatbelt use through adulthood. Seatbelts save lives.
I remember as a kid, my mom, she would try everything she could to keep me in that seatbelt. And I remember I was probably 3 or 4. I would wiggle everywhere, and I remember throwing a fit, and she would just say to me, you need to have your seatbelt on, it could save your life. I never understood what that meant. So do you have any thoughts on how you can not only keep them safe in that position, but also what happens when you have a child like myself that really doesn't want to sit there? Are there things that the parents can do to keep them, occupied? And I know even looking at vehicles, they've got TVs and videos and all those sorts of things. What are your thoughts on all those?
Well, like you said, as a small child, you wiggled and squirmed, and that's probably because the seatbelt didn't fit you correctly.
No, it didn't. It did not fit me correctly at all. Yeah.
That's one of the great things about the booster seats that are out on the market now. They really put you in a position that the child's much more comfortable. Additionally, when you get out of that booster seat, more and more cars now have seatbelts that have adjustments to them. And even for an adult, if you can get the headrest, the seatbelt, and the seat adjusted so you're more comfortable, you'll be much more likely to use the safety features. You did mention the DVD players. I think that's personal preference for parents. Does it keep a child's attention? Yes, but that's a decision that a parent ultimately has to make, whether or not that's something they want to introduce into their child's environment.
You're totally right. And, neurologically, we see a lot of children with learning differences and autism. And doesn't matter what is going on with your child's health, neurologically, they really shouldn't be watching TV within that 1 to 2 year time frame. And I know many parents, I'll hear them say, let's just put a video in. Let's just sit them in front of the TV. Well, you have to begin to realize, that brain is not only growing, developing, and really beginning to do everything it can to have proper neurotransmitter functions and and the brain doing what it needs to do. And when you start to introduce those fast-moving, loud, interactive TV programs, you really start to create other problems that we don't even realize neurologically. So I know in my world, I more than likely wouldn't choose that, even though I do like all the bells and whistles. So if we were to today go to your dealership and actually test drive a car, I'm going to be a new mom. I'm six months and a week pregnant, which is pretty exciting. What type of vehicle would you say, hey, I think this would be great for you and for your family, and most importantly, keeps me safe? Because, accidents are accidents. That's why they're called an accident. But how can I assure within reason that my family is going to be protected if we come to your dealership?
Sure, Michelle. Well, I think nowadays that most manufacturers do a really good job with safety. Of course, the vehicle brands that I sell, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram, I think they do an excellent job, but all around, most manufacturers do an excellent job. I think the biggest thing with safety is, most vehicles nowadays have most of the safety features, but not all of them do. So it's important to ask the right questions, ask the salesperson to show you the safety features. When you come into our dealership, that is one of the things that we do go over with you. But the other big thing is it needs to be comfortable for you and your family. What may work for one family isn't going to work for another. So it needs to be something that you're comfortable getting in and out of, that you have good sight lines. And also, when you do have kids in car seats, you have to make sure your car seat fits, that you have enough room that your child can see out the window, and that you're comfortable getting the child in and out of the vehicle. Because what may work for you may not work for someone else.
And so do you have any vehicles that you love? If we were to go there right now and you said, hey, this is my vehicle, what would it be for you?
I think it depends on what you're using the vehicle for. Of course, I love my big trucks. I have horses and I need one to pull a horse trailer, but I love the Wrangler. I think the Grand Cherokee is a great vehicle, and then of course the Durango that I showed you, based upon your needs, I think it's a great vehicle, and I think that was something that you really enjoyed when you were in the dealership.
Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful car, and and I have bull mastiffs, and soon to have a baby, so it's some good stuff. So tell me about service. Most people, I consider this almost sort of like our health. Most people are grown up with the thought process of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I see that over and over again, because people's health, they will literally wait till they're whittled down to the very last breath. They're in such pain, such agony, can barely walk, can barely talk, and they go, you know what, maybe I should do something about this. And those are oftentimes the calls that my dad will get. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, the person's been sick for the last week, all sorts of symptoms, but now they decide to call. Or the other one I love, I grew up being a fireman's daughter, so, Christmas, my birthdays, in the middle of opening presents and singing happy birthday, there's always a call. And my father, being so dedicated, he literally, as soon as we hear that radio going off, we know, well, my dad's leaving. And he literally gets up in the middle of everything and goes. So the real question to me is, if people are doing this to their bodies, well, what are they doing to their cars? And how important not only is service, but if people would take care of their health ahead of time, they oftentimes wouldn't get to the point of symptoms and being so sick and broken down. How does that relate to cars?
I think it relates to all aspects of our life, but it's specifically with your vehicles. Pay attention. If something doesn't sound right, doesn't look right, there's a light on, get it checked out. It's also important to be familiar with the maintenance that the factory recommends on your vehicle. Most vehicles come with a booklet when you purchase them that has a recommended maintenance schedule, and if it doesn't, you can always go to the dealership or your local shop and ask them to explain it to you. But, do you want something to go wrong at an inconvenient time that you could have prevented? I don't. So, one thing we do offer our customers is a 23-point safety inspection. It's going to look at the things in your vehicle that, could possibly cause a safety issue. And we always let our customers know on each visit if we found anything wrong. Things are important. Brakes. You want to be able to stop your vehicle.
I want to be able to stop my vehicle.
I also want the person driving towards me to be able to stop their vehicle.
I never think about that.
So, I think it is important, to get checkups on your vehicle. Make sure you're following that maintenance schedule, because not only is it going to help keep you safe, it's going to prevent costly repairs in the future, and it's also going to, if you have a record of these types of things, it's going to help you when you sell your vehicle in the future. People are going to pay more for a vehicle that's been well maintained.
It's interesting. My father-in-law, he is an absolute genius, and I mean that, not just, figuratively. He is. And I remember when I first started dating my husband, there was something I had to get done with my car. My father-in-law wanted to know, well, what's the history? What records do you have? What happened at your last service appointment? And is this something new, or is this something that has occurred again? And I never understood the reason for keeping that information. But the more and more that I've learned, and I've been a part of this great family, the more I see that, well, gosh, that is actually really important information, and that you should know what's going on. And I think the same thing does apply to health. Oftentimes we will say, and I hear this over and over again, oh, well, I get normal headaches. I have teenagers that tell me that. Oh, I've got normal asthma. There's no such thing as normal headaches, normal asthma, normal ear infections. Your body is supposed to function at a high level of health and vitality. And you have to ask yourself, what is occurring that isn't functioning? And the one thing that people don't go back to, which they should, is the function of their central nervous system. That's where health is coming from. And Dr. Christman will always give the analogy to people of, what would happen if you continued to drive your car and you never had a wheel alignment, you never got new tires. What happens if it wears on one side more than the other? What's going to happen to your tires? And they'll always say, well, they're going to scallop, or one side's going to wear more than the other. So at the end of the day, that's what's happening to our health. The stresses from our life, physical, chemical, and emotional, are breaking that central nervous system and spine down, so the body can't do its job, and it produces sickness. So tell us, if there were one or two things that people should do to make sure their car is safe enough to keep everybody safe and themselves on the road, what would it be for you guys?
I would say have a mechanic or yourself do regular oil changes, and when you're doing them, do a safety inspection. Look at the brakes, look at the other vital parts of the vehicle, and just make sure that everything looks and feels right.
And what is, you have been in this business for a long time, but what's the biggest takeaway from you? What's the biggest lesson you've learned that you could impart with other people, not only on how to take care of their health, but if they would do the same thing with their vehicles, that everything would function better and they would be safer? What is that for you? What have you learned?
I think when it comes to vehicle safety, the biggest thing is be alert. Be alert as to what's going on with your vehicle. Be alert when you're driving. Just in general, pay attention. Pay attention to yourself when you're driving. Pay attention to the vehicle. Pay attention to the other vehicles on the road. If you're paying attention to what's going on around you, then you're going to catch things before they're a problem.
Isn't that smart? I love that. Growing up, my dad has a tractor store, and the first thing that he taught me how to drive on was a truck. And I love trucks. They just make me feel comfortable and safe. But as soon as I got down, he threw on a trailer. And I remember the first day driving that truck in the trailer and going like, oh my Lord, And then I finally got that down. Then I had to do the whole backing up and the parallel park and all this stuff. And then he started to throw tractors on the back, And I got up to about 10,000 pounds of equipment. And I drove 150 to 300 miles a day, Monday through Friday, selling equipment all through Maryland and Virginia, or Northern Virginia, and sometimes into D.C. I remember, and I still carry with me today, is what you said, which was pay attention. Because there are people always around you. And as you had said earlier, don't text. Don't get on the cell phone. Please don't be distracted. Because that's not only your life in your hands, but somebody else's. It's to realize and to be aware and acknowledge that, you had said something earlier on that, the vehicles weigh thousands and thousands. I don't know if it was pounds or if it was a ton or what, but when you get in that car, I don't realize, most people don't realize the force and the power that we have behind us and how much it could either keep us safe or create massive havoc for ourselves and for others. And with driving that equipment, I not only realized that it's such an honor and such a very big responsibility, but that you better know what's going around you at all times. And even before getting into a car, my dad taught me, you got to check the oil. I don't want you out there and you call me and tell me my truck doesn't have oil or I don't have gas, and also to check the tires. There are many times you can start and get into a vehicle and maybe one of your back tires is low and you don't even realize it and you're caught on a back road.
Yeah, tire pressure is really important. People blowing tires out causes a lot of accidents, and you don't think about the force that can blow, or they could actually come out and hit another vehicle. So that is also another really important thing. And there are new technologies out there that there's even lights that tell you when your tires are running low.
Yeah, I have that. Now, my husband drives a Jeep Wrangler, which he loves. He's had that since 1998. And, when he leaves and goes to work, I'm Catholic, so I pray. And, I always pray that God, please bring him back to me safely, one piece and alive, because I love him. But I remember the one day, he calls me and he says, Michelle, you got to come get me. I said, why? He said, I'm on 136. I'm driving along and my front right tire literally just flew off the car. And it's in the field. And I said, oh my God. And my thought was it had to be my prayers that kept him safe, But the reality is, here's somebody that does everything he can to help other people with their health and their lives. And here comes a tire, bam, right off his car going 45 miles an hour. And I can't help but think that maybe, something wasn't there to make sure he was safe. But I'm sure you probably run into all those type things all the time. And one last question, Ashley. How can people reach you? I mean, if they decide today they're going to go look for a car or next week, how can they not only find you, where are you also located, and what are your phone numbers to reach you?
Sure. Well, we're open Monday through Saturday. We are closed on Sundays. You can find us on Facebook, so you make sure you like us. We're on the internet at www.keendodge.net or .com. And you can also reach us at 410-557-8002 or 1-800-394-7127. And our address is 3707 Norrisville Road, Jarrettsville.
Ashley, thank you so much. It was such an honor to have you with us today on Wake Up to Wellness. You're such a wonderful person. I absolutely wish you the best. And I also want to make sure that you guys realize that at the end of the day, you have the ability to keep your family not only safe, but in the best possible condition of your health and vitality. Make sure that you take the time and you invest in your health. So many people take the service and the oil and filter and the tire rotation changes and they put it on the side because they either don't have the money today, they'll do it next week, or they're extremely busy. But that can not only save your life, but someone else's life. And you have to realize that there are a lot of people out there that have loved ones like me. I love my family, love my husband. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that we're all safe and protected. But most importantly, take care of your health. You only have one ability to have your life, right? And at the end of the day, if you lose your health, you have nothing. Many people take their health for granted. And I got to tell you, I'm one of them too. Prior to being pregnant, I had all this energy and God, I could do a million things, but I took that for granted. There's so many other opportunities that I could not only have been a part of, but had an even more exciting, vibrant life. And the reality is, with being pregnant, I'm tired and I'm exhausted. But I do the best that I can to continue to move forward. And so I ask you to please invest in yourself Don't take your health for granted. Realize that every day is a huge gift. And please tune in to us. We're live every Saturday from 8:30 till 9 in the morning. Wake Up to Wellness with Michelle Christman on WAMD 970 AM, WYR, WKHZ, and you can watch us on www.khztv.com, and make sure that you keep your channel on these stations all throughout the week, because the music here is amazing, and they've got the most amazing and wonderful, not only things that you can listen to, but people you can learn from. So wake up to wellness, enjoy your day, and have a happy, happy Mother's Day.